Hello, dear friends. Human mind tends to fragment facts, but the universe works in a synchronized way, and so does society. That is to say, the same phenomenon can have several different, concomitant, and simultaneous causes, even if they seem to be dispersed. This can be applied to all the different news related to the paradigm shift and the new financial system, because everything has to do with everything and is intertwined. Opinion article. European Union launches digital wallet for payments, passwords and identification. It will scan fingerprints and retinas. It will not be mandatory but voluntary. Will facilitate an incorruptible mode of economy. Will be synchronized with the new financial system. Brussels proposed to create a digital identifier proof. Will have official documents like a driver's license. The economy is recovering faster than expected. Spain will have the highest growth in the eurozone in 2021-2022. Biden bans investment in Chinese technology and defense companies. China's banks are filled with dollars and experts fear the worst. France negotiates with Spain and Morocco to defuse crisis. US offers reward for Qaeda in the Maghreb leader. The plane of the future is made in Spain. It flies without pilot or fuel. Russia will stop using the dollar in its reserves and will increase the euro and the yuan. 122 lucky people will receive 1,200 euros a month for 3 years for doing nothing. Let's start. The European Union is preparing to unveil a digital wallet that will allow the bloc's citizens to store payment details and passwords. The application will also allow members of the 27 countries to store official documents such as a driver's license and access various public and private services with a single online ID. In my opinion, the digital wallet is aligned with the new QFS quantum financial system. Remember that June 28 is a tough date for bankers as Basel, Switzerland implements a system that has been in development for many years in the plan. Basel's gold-backed banking laws. In other words, this new financial system will facilitate an incorruptible and equitable way of life. Brussels proposes to create a digital proof of identity valid throughout the European Union. The European Commission has proposed to create an electronic wallet in which citizens can digitally store their identity data and other official documents such as driving license, bank account number or university diplomas, so that it serves as proof of identify in all countries of the European Union. In quotes, the European digital identity will allow us to do in any member state what we do in our own without additional costs and with fewer barriers, whether it is renting an apartment or opening a bank account outside our country. European Vice President for Digital Margaret Vestager said at the press conference, in quotes, digital identification. So far, individual European Union member states issued their own digital ID, but not all are compatible and uptake is relatively low in only 19 countries. With the healthcare crisis forcing many people to go online, the European Union will promote the idea of a block-wide ID as a way to access public and private services more easily. According to reports, users will be able to open the application by fingerprint or retina scan, although the final details are not yet defined. The digital wallet will not be mandatory but will supposedly offer citizens greater digital security and flexibility. To protect privacy, the European Union will prevent companies from using data obtained from IDs for marketing and other commercial activities. For example, you could use your digital wallet to rent a car remotely throughout apps that could verify your identity and issue an electronic key so you could drive without waiting in line. The process would be simple, secure, and would protect people online, European sources told the Financial Times. The European Union plans to implement the new system in about a year. About translation. New identification. A digital wallet could store payment details and passwords and allow citizens of the 27 countries a log on to local government websites or pay utility bills, or perhaps even merchants using a simple recognized identity. As with other smartphone applications, digital wallets would be accessed throughout fingerprint and retina scanning. It could also serve as a safe where users could store official documents such as a driver's license. Use of the wallet would not be mandatory, but European Union citizens who choose to register would benefit from the highly secure digital ecosystem and greater flexibility for life after a health crisis. In quotes, the new digital ID will give every European the keys to his or her digital twin. Thierry Breton, European Union Commissioner in charge of digital policy, said in a speech earlier this year. European officials plan to make it illegal for companies to use any data obtained from these digital passports for marketing or any other commercial purpose. Brussels is engaging in discussions with member states to provide guidelines on technical standards for the rollout of the digital wallet, which is expected to be fully operational in a year, as we have said. But here is the bottom line. The European Union digital wallet is simple, secure, and will protect people online, said one person with direct knowledge of the plans. People will also have the power to decide how much information they give away, while Google and others won't let you decide what you are giving away. So far, the program has seen limited interest, with only 19 member states moving to introduce digital wallets to their citizens, and not all of them are compatible with each other. But regulators hope that increased digital literacy sparked by the crisis will help popularize the digital wallet. Definition. A digital wallet, also known as an e-wallet, refers to an electronic device, mobile banking service, or mobile app that allows one party to conduct electronic transactions with another party, exchanging units of digital currency for goods and services. This could include purchasing items online with a computer or using a smartphone to buy something in a store. Money could be deposited into the digital wallet prior to any transactions, or in other cases, an individual's bank account can be linked to the digital wallet. Users can also have their driver's license, ID, and other identification documents stored in the wallet. Credentials could be passed to a merchant's terminal wirelessly via communication. Increasingly, digital wallets are being used not only for basic financial transactions, but also to authenticate the holder's credentials. For example, a digital wallet could verify the age of the shopper at the store while buying alcohol. The system has already gained popularity in Japan, where digital wallets are known as mobile wallets. Requirements. The digital wallet is a software that allows storing electronic money to perform online commerce or e-commerce operations. They are also called e-wallets, electronic wallets, and digital wallets. These wallets work as a substitute for credit and debit cards. In order to have access to their service, several requirements are requested, mainly to prove the identity of the individual. Among the requirements are email, local identification card or passport, proof of address, and photograph, among others. How is the digital wallet used? The digital wallet can be a mobile application or used throughout a web page. In this way, it can be accessed from almost any electronic device. However, the most versatile and flexible version is the mobile version. This is because the user can access it from anywhere with his or her smartphone. Some of the mobile versions are compatible with the POS terminals. Therefore, it serves as a perfect substitute for physical credit or debit cards. Also, in some cases, it is possible to withdraw cash that is stored in the wallet. However, wallets that do not have this option allow balance transfer between accounts. For this, both parties must have an account in the same digital wallet. Advantages and disadvantages. Some of the advantages offered by this digital wallet technology are the following. First, it allows more people to participate in global commerce. This is particularly beneficial for people living in emerging countries. Second, it enables the sending of a remittance. This is specifically important for people living in countries with foreign exchange restrictions. Third, in many cases, the user is not required to have a bank account. Therefore, it allows unbanked people to use them. Fourth, make purchases and receive payments easily and securely. Fifth, access from any electronic device throughout a mobile application or a computer. In other words, there is immediate access to money. Sixth, it is not necessary to have cash. Seventh, time savings. With shopping habits, companies could offer more personalized services. This would be the 8th point. Disadvantages of the digital wallet. Some of the disadvantages offered by this technology are the following. 4 points only. First, users' purchase information could be shared with other companies. In other words, there could be a loss of privacy. Second, internet access would be a limitation. Likewise, it would require the availability of electronic equipment for its use. Third, in case of theft or loss of the cell phone, it would be necessary to make immediate action. Fourth, it's required that the person paying and the person receiving have the same application to exchange money, which not only happens. Not happens. It doesn't happen every time. Economy. China raffles a millionaire amount to boost its digital currency. 40 million yuan, about $6.2 million, that Beijing citizens will be able to acquire in digital currencies throughout an organized lottery as part of the pilot tests that the government has been carrying out since 2014. Biden Biden orders ban on 59 Chinese defense and technology companies. The president signed an executive order on June 3rd modifying a Trump-era ban that prevents U.S. investors from investing in China's military companies. The new order expands the previous ban list by adding more Chinese defense and surveillance technology companies. Chinese banks are flush with dollars and experts fear the West. China's economy has gone from being one of the hardest hit by the health crisis to having one of the highest growth rates globally. However, now a larger than expected flow of dollars in deposits in the country's bank could have dire consequences for the economy. This increase in the volume of dollars in China's deposits is due to higher export earnings as well as investment flows. In April, the total value of foreign currency deposits in Chinese banks exceeded $1 billion for the first time in history. The yuan is a 3-year high, having risen to 6.4 to the dollar. Russia will stop using the dollar in its reserves and will increase the euro and the yuan. Russia will remove the dollar from the currency composition of its National Welfare Fund reserves within a month. It will replace some $40 billion from that body with gold and other currencies in order to reduce the risk of U.S. sanctions. The U.S. currency's share is 35%, so Moscow will make up for the gap it leaves with an increase in the euro and yuan to 40% and 30% respectively, and the inclusion of gold for the first time, which will account for 20% in that sovereign wealth fund. Economy recovers faster than expected. The head of the Dutch Central Bank, Klaas Knot, said Wednesday that the Dutch economy is recovering faster than expected from the economic crisis. Spain will have the strongest growth in the eurozone in 2021 and 22. Spain's economy will experience the strongest growth in the eurozone in the mentioned years, according to an OECD forecast. Spanish GDP will rise by 5.9% this year and 6.3% next year, placing the country at the head of the eurozone. 5 regions rebel against health and will maintain restrictions. The autonomous governments of Madrid, the Basque Country, Galicia, Castilla y León, and Andalusia have risen up this Thursday against the central executive, and more specifically against the Ministry of Health, for the document approved in the Interterritorial Council of New Normality, which they have already announced that they will not abide by, and they will maintain their current restrictions. Unfortunately, Spain launches new electricity prices with criticism from users. A tariff change comes into force that divides the day into 3 price bands, with the cheapest being established during the early hours of the morning, weekends and holidays. The government claims to pursue an improvement in energy efficiency with this restructuring, but consumer and user organizations denounce a sharp rise in the electricity bill. The people will have to use the washing machine at midnight to save electricity, to save money. Brussels asks Spain for a prudent fiscal policy due to its high debt. The European Commission on Wednesday recommended Spain to carry out a prudent fiscal policy in 2022 due to its high level of debt, and to use aid from European Recovery Fund to undertake new investments and boost recovery. More than 250 Moroccans collapsed the asylum office at the border of Ceuta. More than 250 Moroccan migrants have collapsed since the early hours of Wednesday morning the Asylum and Refuge Office of the Tarajal border in Ceuta to request an appointment for the request for political asylum in the city. Denmark will send asylum seekers to reception centers abroad. The Danish parliament has approved a controversial law that will allow asylum seekers to be taken to centers set up in countries abroad, where they would remain while their requests are being processed. France contacts the Minister of Spain and Morocco to defuse the crisis. The French government is following with attention the tensions between Morocco and Spain while hoping for a rapid diffusing of the crisis between the two countries, has maintained contact at ministerial level with both Madrid and Rabat. The government prepares a supplement of €50 per child for the minimum vital income tax. The Minister of Inclusion, Social Security and Migration, José Luis Escrivá, explained Thursday that his department is preparing a supplement to the minimum vital income of about €50 per child. 500,000 children will benefit from this aid. US imposes additional tariffs on Spain for the Google tax, but suspends its application for 180 days. The US considers that the tax on digital services approved by Spain is discriminatory and harms its commercial interest, so it has determined to impose an additional tariff of 25% on a series of Spanish products, although it has suspended its application for 180 days to allow time for negotiations in the OECD. The plane of the future is made in Spain. Skydweller flies without pilot or fuel. Skydweller Aero aims to become the aerospace company using the autonomous aviation technology of the future. It is called Skydweller, and they want to turn it into a watchful Pseudo-2 satellite, the inhabitant of the sky, as its name translates into English, is powered exclusively by solar energy, although its most striking feature may be its weight, just 360 kilograms. 122 lucky people will receive €1,200 a month for the next 3 years for doing nothing in a basic income study in Germany. The only condition participants must fulfill is to fill out a questionnaire every 6 months. More than 2 million people applied for a long-term study which aims to examine the effect of unconditional basic income in Germany, and only 122 of them were chosen for the research. These are people between the ages of 21 and 40 who live alone and have between €1,200 and €2,600 net per month, says the website of the My Basic Income Project. US. Biden proposes 15% corporate minimum tax. The president offered to drop his corporate tax hike proposal during negotiations with the Republicans, in what would be a major concession by the president as he works to finalize an infrastructure deal. Uruguayan digital payments company debuts successfully on Wall Street. Uruguayan technology company Dell Local Payments joined the Nasdaq index, becoming the second firm from the South America country to be listed on Wall Street, where its initial public offering raised $617 million. Will US financial intelligence get access to every beneficiary on the planet? The Biden administration plans to expand the powers of the FinCEN agency and set the rules of the game for the cryptocurrency industry. Last January, Congress overrode a presidential veto of a massive 2020 anti-money laundering bill, the first attempt to tighten such money laundering controls in 20 years. US offers reward for the whereabouts of Qaeda in the Maghreb leader. The US government has offered a $7 million reward for information leading to the location or identification of the leader of the Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb group, Abu Ubaida Yusuf al-Anabi. This was announced by the State Department in a statement, where it recalled that the organization is responsible for the kidnapping and murder of US citizens, and that it was included in its list of terrorist groups in 2002, when it had the name of Salafist Group for Preaching and Combat, until it changed it to the current one in 2006. Spying on allies unacceptable, Norway tells US. Norwegian defense officials have met with US embassy staff to express concerns after the US was accused of spying on NATO-allied politicians, including German Chancellor Angela Merkel and officials in Norway. Cybersecurity. Hackers breach New York's transit systems. The New York Metropolitan Transit Authority, one of the largest public transportation networks in the US, said hackers infiltrated 18 computer systems, but noted that the attack was thwarted before the data was compromised. The New York Times said the breach appeared to have been carried out by a group of hackers believed to be backed by the Chinese government, citing cybersecurity firm FireEye. US to prioritize ransomware attacks. The Justice Department is elevating the investigation of ransomware attacks to a terrorism-like priority in the wake of the Colonial Pipeline hack and the growing damage caused by cyber criminals. White House warns companies to step up cybersecurity. The White House warned corporate executives and business leaders Thursday to step up security measures to protect against ransomware attacks after intrusions disrupted operations at a major meatpacking company and the largest US oil pipeline. Elon Musk compares chip shortage to toilet paper shortage at the beginning of the crisis. Tesla and SpaceX founder Elon Musk on Wednesday, on his official Twitter account, referred to the problem of the global chip shortage, and after comparing the phenomenon to the toilet paper shortage at the beginning of the health crisis, admitted that it is a major challenge for Tesla. Thousands of Anthony Fauci's emails released. A large set of emails from the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases was obtained and released by media outlets this week. This Monday, the Washington Post published material with fragments of more than 860 pages of the doctor's official correspondence. The following day, the portal BuzzFeed News made public 3,234 pages of his emails. Congressional Republicans demand he testify. Two prominent Republican members of the Congress have said it is imperative that the president's chief medical advisor testify about allegations of a possible artificial origin of the pathogen. Repugnant. Hundreds of photos shows Australian soldiers drinking from slain Afghan prosthetic leg. Court hears. A court hearing revealed Wednesday that there are hundreds of photos of Australian soldiers drinking from a prosthetic leg that belonged to slain Afghan, taken at an unauthorized bar at Australia's military base in Afghanistan. Iran's largest navy ship catches fire and sinks in the Gulf of Oman. Iran's largest navy ship, the Karg, caught fire Wednesday and subsequently sank in the Gulf of Oman near the Strait of Hormuz. The largest ship of the Iranian Navy, the Karg, was used as a support platform and training ship, carrying cadets on board. Fortunately, there were no human casualties. Return to Israel of Jews lost in India. More than 100 Jews from the northeastern Indian state of Manipur have had to delay plans to immigrate to Israel when their relatives fell ill and were quarantined in New Delhi. They would be one of the famous lost tribes in the history of the Jewish people. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.